welcome to Letterbox Book Club. My name is Claire.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today we are talking about the fourth book in Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series, Queen of Shadows.
For anyone following along at home, this is the third time we've had to record this one.
Third time's the charm.
If we sound a bit defeated, please don't take that into any consideration. No, that's right. Please take into consideration, yes, that it's our third time recording this, so we're a little deflated.
The universe just doesn't want our opinions, I guess.
This is also the third computer I'm on for this year. Not financial year, this year.
I think Queen of Shadows is just your downfall in life.
Oh, it's cursed.
And we're just, in this moment, we're trying a different sort of setup and we're not using Zoom to talk to each other, so we don't know how this is gonna go, so bear with us. And yeah, it's now been a long while since we have read Queen of Shadows, so this is going to be interesting. See how much we can remember, and so yeah, please bear with us if anything sounds out of the ordinary. But yeah, third time's the charm. We can do it. Now, when you're ready, Kenzie, if you could read the blurb.
It would be my honour.
You should have it memorised by now, considering it's the third time.
Oh god, I shouldn't I? Anyway. No masters, no limits, no regrets. Celaena Sardothien is cloaked in her assassin's hood once more. She is back in Rifthold, but this time she is no one's slave. She must delve into her most painful memories and fight for her survival while resisting a smouldering passion that might very well consume her heart. And she will face her former master, the King of Assassins, again, to wreak revenge for a decade of pain.
Love that. Again, never know what to say after the blurb. I'm sure one day something will be said worthwhile. Alrighty, perhaps just a quick little recap almost, just to jog our memories. So Queen of Shadows, we have Dorian possessed by the word collar.
Yes.
Aedion is captured by the king.
Yes.
And Aelin is returning from Wendlin to find the amulet of Orinth. In order to find it, she needs to revisit her old master, Arabin.
Sorry, on my recording, it's recording the transcript as well. So Orinth is orange.
I love that.
It was funny, it's just like 310 orange.
Yeah. God damn. Alright, perhaps we can talk about Dorian being possessed real quick and just kind of get that out of the way. Because a lot of his chapters early on is really just him in absolute imprisonment and misery, and it just breaks my heart. The poor boy, you just really feel for him.
Yeah, and although he does seem to be able to fight back against it more, like I think he seems like he's a bit more. Oh no. Oh.
Hello, welcome back.
Hi. Sorry.
The universe really does not want us to talk about Queen of Shadows. Honestly, if there is any more trouble, I'm just going to release this part of like the podcast and be like, sorry, we're not talking about it. We're done.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah,
okay.
Dorian's
back to what I was saying.
Yeah, I didn't even hear you go off, but please go off, Queen.
Oh, sorry. So Dorian is captured, he's possessed, whatever. Anyway, but I was saying that he seems to have more, not like free will, but like he seems to be able to fight against it a bit more than other people because I think of his like raw magic. Perhaps,
yeah. Maybe he just has that, yeah, as you kind of just said, in a strengthened will, because he has a fair amount to lose in a way, because, you know, he wants to protect his kingdom and put the kingdom and Aurelia in a better place. And yeah, hard to do that when you're imprisoned. Yeah, it's just heartbreaking, because you've never really seen him in such despair or anything like that before. So it's just something he's going to have to overcome, of course.
Sorry, I was just going to say, this is like the reuniting, like, Celaena is back in Rifthold, and so she has her reunion with Chaol.
Yep, Chaol and Nezrin, yeah.
Yeah, Nezrin, we're introduced to Nezrin.
Mm-hmm.
I have many feelings about Chaol in this. Would we want to go into them, or do we want to talk about something else?
I mean, may as well get it out of the way. Alright, Chaol, yep.
So Chaol is all very high and mighty up on his high horse. because Aelin abandoned them and didn't send help and blah blah blah. But he was the one who sent her away.
Yeah, look, yeah. You can't really argue with that, can you? I mean, he thought he thought he was doing it for her own good, which in the end it kind of was.
Well, yeah, he was doing it for the right reasons, but then don't complain because you also didn't send help when you found out that Mr. Ward was going to be attacked.
Yeah, that's...
And you didn't send word to her to help.
Oh yeah, I remember that now, yeah, because I think him, Adian, and... Oh, was it the Ellsbrooks? Or Murtaugh?
Ellsbrooks, yeah.
Those people. Yeah, they realize that there's like a little infantry, stationed, or heading to Mistward, and like Captain Narek and all that. Like they knew that they were there, and like they actually had the conversation. Oh, should we tell them? And they're like, no, they'll figure it out. And then he has the gall to, when she comes back, to yell at her and be like, oh, you put on a display with the Valg or whatever. But like, Mistward was under attack. She was defending, like she's using up all of her power that she's suddenly, still learning how to use.
Yeah, and if she hadn't put on that quotation display, then she wouldn't have been able to come back because she'd be dead.
Yeah. And like, it's also just a good like threatening thing. Like, you just can't keep this girl down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what Kale wants from her in this type of like situation. Like, she's damned if she does, she's damned if she doesn't. But like, and Kale's been in this revolution for like, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And suddenly, oh, I remember, they were having a conversation, about making a display and how, there are innocent people, blah, blah, blah. Or something about going along the lines of her killing innocents or whatever. And she's like, well, you don't care about the slaves in Indovia.
Slaves in Indovia, yeah.
Yeah, and that really put him in his place. Because it's like, Kale, you've been the captain of the guard to this tyrant for years now. Yeah. Suddenly you're sticking your nose up at Aelin, like, and this rebellion is in the name of Aelin. Like, give her some more respect.
Yeah.
But Kale, he's just the way he speaks to Aelin is what annoys me. But at the end of the day, he fights the good fight. So, still irritating. How'd you feel about the introduction of Nezrin?
I think we've spoken about this before, but I hate this trope, I guess, of introducing new characters just for them to be paired off with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's alluded that her and Kale obviously are involved somehow or have been involved somehow. Like, she does go on to bigger and better things, but again, those bigger and better things just end up with her being partnered with someone else. So it's like, could Kale not, like, because in this she's obviously acting like as his bodyguard or whatever, and she's helping the rebellion and stuff. So he's second in command. But it's like, could this not have been just some, like, random male? Or, like, could it not have been, like, because he still has, like, guards that are his friends at the castle. Like, could one of them not have broken away from that and then been like, well, I'll come and be your second in the streets?
Yeah.
Like, why did it have to be a female for them to have a love interest?
Yeah, I agree with that, for sure. I think it gives off the idea of having, like, some sort of jealousy. But then Sarah J. Maas, she's been great at it, although it's kind of a bait of, pitting women against each other, especially in books. Like, we're over that now. But it did come across that way.
I think anything that's like jealousy, over love interest, like everything with Kale, it's like you cannot justify your feelings because you sent her away.
Yeah.
Like, she wanted to spend her life with you, and you're just like, see ya.
And now, pissed that she's back.
And now pissed that she's back and she's happy with someone else.
Yeah. But it did give off the whole, is Nezrin and Aelin gonna, Aelin, whatever, are gonna butt heads with each other, but no, we just smoothed right past it, which is good. And it also, I'm just gonna say it now, it happens with Lysandra as well. You feel a sense of, rivaling women against each other, but they end up being besties, and that is great.
Yeah.
And we love that, especially in this day and age, because, we're over, like, women putting against each other. But I agree with you that, like, Nezrin, it was just random to include her to then kind of, feel that potential jealousy. Kale and Aelin, they have, different ideas and strategies and all that type of stuff, and they just butt heads a lot throughout this book. especially as to whether or not to kill Dorian if the chance happens to come across. So that's always very interesting. Which begs the question, to kill or not to kill Dorian?
Because they're planning to rescue Adian, and so it's like, well, if we come across a chance to save Dorian, do we save him, or like, is he too far gone? Do we kill him?
With that perfect segue, Kenzie, let's just talk about the Adian rescue, because I honestly thought that was going to be a bit of a shit show. We may as well get like these little bits out of the way because, you know, it doesn't take that much of the book, to be fair.
I mean, like, this is kind of a chunky book, and for the average reader, not for me. And I think I thought going into it that the Adian rescue was going to be kind of like the chunk of it, and that was going to be like, you know, the classic last 100 pages sort of deal. However, like, it's more the killing of Arabin that is kind of more of the chunk, because that's more set up and stuff. So I guess, yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, this is going to be like a really action-packed thing, but we're just going to get through it because there's like bigger, better things coming.
And I think we'd been anticipating the potential reunion of Aelin and Arabin as well, like, because his name has been, he's the elusive, the enigma master of her services and everything. So yeah, obviously that was going to be the chunkiest part of the book. But obviously the Adian rescue, smooth sailing. Very interesting plan. Of course, I don't think it really went wrong. I think it went according to plan.
Not really. Yeah, it went fine until like Dorian came across Celaena, and she was like, well, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah. And that also, which stems the initial arguments of whether or not to kill Dorian, because in that moment, Dorian didn't really recognize Celaena, so he kind of didn't want to hold back on any magic.
Yeah, so she was like, okay, well, you're gone, yeah.
Which is fair. If someone, you know, has no inkling of recognition of you and is wanting to kill you, you are going to defend yourself and or perhaps try and incapacitate them. So yeah. Adian's rescued. He is fine. He is happy. Well, not really happy, but he's alive. He's happy to be alive. And it was sad.
He's alive and he sees his cousin again.
Yeah. It was also heartbreaking hearing that he just wanted to essentially kill himself as well, to kind of... Oh, because he was injured as well. And was he trying to hide it?
Yeah. Yeah, he was trying to hide his injury because he's like, well, just let me die.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
He's like, I'd rather die, like, by his own hand than be killed.
And obviously the king was just using his presence as bait for the elusive Aelin. So yeah, as we said earlier, the main juice of the book is everything kind of to do with Arabin.
Yeah.
So Arabin wants to experiment on some Valg, or he wants to like understand them and kind of suss them out.
But I think that was all a ruse just to get the ring, because he really wanted Celaena back.
Yeah, he really wanted to control it, and honestly, if we'll go there right now, I was so scared. I was like, my mouth was on the floor, my jaw was on the floor because when that happened, when he slid the ring on her finger.
Yeah. So yeah, Celaena/Aelin. So at this point, we all know that Celaena is Aelin. So I'm gonna keep switching, because until the next book, she's not really fully Aelin. She still is like both of them, like in her different personas and stuff. So I'm gonna keep switching between them in whatever like scenario it fits properly. Yeah, in whatever context. So he slips there. So Celaena gets him a Valg soldier, but she's already spoken to him, and she's like, I can help you, and the guy's like, I just want to die, like, I've seen horrific things, I've done horrific things, I just want to die. So she says, okay, well, you'll die if you like do this thing for me anyway. So she basically like fakes out Arabin and gets a fake word ring, and Arabin slips the fake ring onto Celaena's finger. And then what does he do, Claire?
I don't really quite remember, actually. Does he like give her a little pat on the butt as they leave or something? Or he's being very flirtatious and slimy?
Yeah, he's being flirtatious, slimy, and he like slaps her ass on the way out or whatever. So like it's clear what he intends for this to do.
Yeah, he's a sleazebag.
So I have qualms. in the story and then the story writing. So I really wanted this bit to be a bit longer. I'm like, if you're going to go down the path of him being a slimy sleazeball, I want him to be a little, like, I want to see it.
Okay.
Like, I know that that's bad. Like, I don't want to see just, like, a tap on the ass. I want to see what he wanted to make her do.
Right. And I understand that.
Yeah. And then my other thing, so, like, Celaena Aylin is, what, 18, 19 at this point?
18, 19, maybe 20. I think it's,
19,
almost...
20.
Yeah, probably 19, I'd say.
Yeah, okay, so 19 or 20. Anyway, and then I always imagined Arabin as, like, this gross, like, old guy.
Yep.
But then, like, all the fan art comes out and he's, like, super hot and, like, young. And it's like, if she was taken in at 8 and then she, like, had a crush on him or whatever, like, I can be like, okay, so maybe he was, like... Because at that point as well, he was already, like, Lord of the Assassins, or, like, King of the Assassins when she was 8. So it's like, okay, maybe he's, like, 20. Like, I can give him that.
Mm.
So then, like, at this point, if she's 20, then it's like, okay, well, you're, like, in your 40s.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like, I guess, like, a lot of, like, let's go down, like, the Paul Rudd, like, he's 50 and he's super fucking hot. You're
Aging
yeah,
like fine wine.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, I can't get past it.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. But there's also a lot of implications in regards to how he treats Lysandra as well. Like,
yeah.
I feel like that's enough to know.
Because he bought her when she was 17.
Yeah. It tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah, cooked.
But, yeah, and yeah, just again, quickly, yeah, like, through Arabin, we meet Lysandra, and, you know, it gives off she gives off the whole jealous, because obviously Arabin still favours Celaena quite heavily, even though he hasn't seen her for a little while, and yeah, Lysandra, yeah, gives off that jealous, no, Arabin's kind of mine type of thing, but lucky that it short circuits and they become besties. We love it.
Yeah, because Lysandra was in love with Wesley.
Oh yeah, I forgot that whole Wesley killing people
who knew
thing.
The truth about Sam, and he tried to tell Celaena that it was a trap, and then I don't think it's ever like officially like stated in like black and white like Arabin set you up, but like it's alluded to. So like we know that Arabin is the reason that Celaena went to Endovia in the first place. So.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, like even then, like his probably goal was for her to find her way back to him anyway.
Yeah.
Because obviously after Endovia, no matter what her thoughts were, like, yeah, she would have been like, alright, I gotta go back to Arabin, gotta go back to her now familial space. But yeah, Arabin, I completely agree with you. Yeah, I imagine him as a huge sleazeball and, you know, extreme kind of groomer vibes, given the nature of what you just said. But again, all the fan art that I've seen online is like, what? Stop making this man attractive, please.
Yeah, and it's like they've just taken Lucien and just because he has red hair, long hair, and it's just aged him up a few years.
Yeah, it's not that well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, one of my favourite moments was when, because the type of person Arabin is, he likes to be manipulative and play mind games. He sent Celaena like some perfume or cologne or whatever to wear to their meeting, and like that was like a condition, which is stupid. But anyway, it just shows, you know, the type of power he holds. And like I just loved it how Rowan, just when they meet again, he just saturates himself in it as well. Just to kind of block out that power move. And I don't think Arabin was expecting it either, which was fantastic.
And I don't think Arabin was expecting Aylin and Rowan to like be in love.
No, either. Just quickly, poor Rowan. He's magicless.
Yeah.
The poor boy. He must have felt so like heavy without his magic and being able to disperse it, because as we learn, you know, you have to or at least dispel a little bit of it. But yeah. Were you happy that Lysandra was the one that got to kill Arabin?
Yeah, I was happy because of the grooming aspect and the sexual assault aspect. And all that jazz. But I do think from like a revenge standpoint that like it should have been Aylin. But then also like it was like, I think that was like her first act as queen is to like give up that power and be like, well, you need this more.
By the sound, even by the sounds of it, Lysandra, she needed that, and I think it was also a first service act for Aelin from Lysandra as well. This is like, I know Lysandra's ultimately doing it for herself or for everybody else that's ever been in that situation, but this is probably her first step in the badassery that she becomes. Like, I will do this for you, Aelin, as well.
Yeah.
And then just the whole, the will scene with all the other assassins and, like, the kind of the lawyering and everything. It was just so funny.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre but humorous. And this is the first, I guess, glimpses we see of Aelin doing things behind the scenes that we don't really know about, other than the little trips. Like, she has a couple of trips to the bank or something like that, and then that's it.
Yeah, this is something that I have major qualms with.
But this book was the stepping stone.
Yeah, and it becomes a pattern in these books where, like, a lot of things happen off screen, if you will, and then, like, we get little snippets into, like, oh, like, Aelin's going to the bank, what's she going to the bank for, blah blah, oh, like, to try and get gold. But no, like, it's just her because she's going to break in and, like, change the wills and everything so that Arobyn's estate goes to her. And it's like, I love the big reveal, but yeah, like, after a while, it's like, I just want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God.
This was very similar as well, because she had to get the fake ring to put on the Valk soldier so that Arobyn would use the fake ring on her.
Yeah, and it just said that she was coming back smelling of metal or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or, like, she was just coming back smelling of ash. Because, yeah, like, that, when he put the ring on her finger, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, it's over.
Yeah. And then she, like, took it off or something in the next scene and is like, I know a good jeweler or something like that. But I think that was the last time she saw him alive as well. I think that night Lysandra killed him.
Yeah.
And this also happens when they encounter Loken again. Because he's after the amulet as well, because it's a word key for Maeve. And there was another ring that he had. It was blessed by God, and, like, I think it's so Valg don't possess you. And, like, they traded it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a fake amulet, and, like, then Aelin had a line that's like, I know a good jeweler or something like that to be able to fake it. Or even Lysandra knew a good jeweler or something like that. But yeah, this book was definitely the stepping stone of little moments that, like, one-liners like that lead to, like, this big overall arching plan. That we find out. I don't know, I like him because I like being surprised, but I also like the little tidbits. I don't know. And speaking of Loken, real quick, he makes a couple of appearances in this book. He's just out and about, trying to find the word keys for either himself or Maeve. It's a little bit unclear, but ultimately he is on the mission for Maeve. And they encounter each other.
But I think, like, along the way it becomes about him. Yeah,
I think because he's so far away from her, the strength of their blood oath as well. Like, a bit more resistant to it. He has a bit more freedom to kind of do what he wants. But Aelin kind of makes him, traps him with some word hounds or something, and he manages to escape, and they just constantly threaten each other, and, like, he just wants to kill her, and...
Yeah, and it's like, for what? Like, I feel like this is never explained either. Like, Loken just inherently hates her from the start. And it's like, what? It's like, it's because, like, the jealousy of taking Rhoalin away, or, like, standing against Maeve because you're too much of a pussy to do it yourself, like...
Yeah. Yeah, look, it gives off, oh, you stole my best friend from me vibes as well. But it's like, I've been thinking about this all week. Loken is like, he gives off this, oh, Rowan's my best friend, but it's like, you only know him from work. Like, he's just your work best friend.
Yeah.
Like, their blood oath is what...
Like, they could have grown up together.
Mate, but I'm not sure. I feel like, because the way they talk about their past, like, oh, they've slaughtered and, like, they bedded women together and all that type of stuff, it just gives off, like, you're just bound through the blood oath and you're forced to work together. You're just it's his work husband, essentially.
Yeah.
And now he's off with another person. He's mad that he didn't get a chance to leave as well, probably. Yeah, I feel like, in the grand scheme of things, if they did not meet under the blood oath thing, I feel like they would not be friends. Because Loken's just too mean. Like, I don't want to say he's evil, but like I don't want to even say he's morally grey. He's just not a nice person at least to Aelin.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And like you'd kind of, unless like I don't know, I feel like you would respect your best friend's choices if you're like kind of really best friend. Like again, like she's done nothing in this world to like cause any harm to Rhoalin.
And this is kind of going forward a bit more, but it's like like he's an awful human being, and then in the end it's like, oh, you're forgiven because love.
Yeah.
like
yeah, we will get to that in the future books. This is a Loken hating. This is not a safe space for Loken lovers.
Hate page.
Exactly. Yeah, he just really gives me the vibe. Like he's just Rowan's work friend, and then Rhoalin, found a better life for himself, and Loken's just salty that he can't get out of it.
Yeah.
There's that. Because I've been thinking about it all week. I'm like, Loken is literally just Rowan's, work buddy.
Yeah. I think I wish that and I hate because I think a lot of people online have done this, and I hate going putting sexuality onto people. Mm-hmm. But it's I feel like it's almost it has to be a little bit of lovers jealousy, Loken's is well, you gave up on me for her, and it does talk about how they were bedding women together and stuff. But side note, I just found out someone in my life had a threesome with their best friend.
Okay.
And they're completely straight. But anyway, I'll tell you after when we stop recording who it is. Anyway. But and they're completely fine. But it's I don't know.
Yeah, look, it does give off more a lover's jealousy, and there is a bit of subtext around it online and that people keep drawing to. But I don't know, it's just down to your interpretation. Loken does not like Aelin. What has this 19-year-old girl done to you? I was gonna say illiterate, but that was a different character. A different 19-year-old. She's done nothing to you, and she makes Rowan happy. What's your deal?
Yeah. What a tangent.
Do you think Rowan and Loken are Vikings?
I like to think that most of these characters are bi in some way or something, but because I don't think that they see sexuality as this big label thing. It's oh, I'm not I'm into I would sleep with men and women. It's not a thing. It's a fae thing. It's whatever.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
but yeah,
and it's down to interpretation as well, I guess. At the end of the day,
yeah, and because in this other series that I read, it's very much fae, and a lot of the rules still are kind of the same as in the fae can't lie, and you're bound by your promises and your words and stuff. But they talk about how the fae love differently than humans and mortals. So
yeah, that's fair. That's our spiel on Loken.
Yeah.
I suppose we can just jump into a bit of the Rhoalin reunion as well, real quick.
Yes.
If we're done talking about Arobynn, but of course, Arobynn gives does he leave the amulet in his will, or does she somehow acquire it beforehand? I kind of forget how that came about.
I think she acquires it beforehand. But he leaves in his fake will, the whole estate to her, but in his real will, all she was going to get was the amulet.
So
leaving the estate to her, which is to wait for her to get money, because then the other assassin, she's well, you can have it if you buy it off me.
Yeah, she really stooged them because she had to fund her building army, and so this is
because Adrian's where's our funds, where's our gold?
Mm.
And then doesn't he feel like an idiot?
Yeah. This is probably where he starts to feel pissed about not being in on plans as well.
I feel him in this. I'm just fuck you.
And you can't just rely on his bane either. This elusive bane that we've never seen yet.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Rhoalin Aelin reunion real quick. Real quick. I mean, friends don't hug each other like that, right?
Yeah.
Run up into each other's arms and just full on embrace. I think so.
And they tell each other how much they missed each other.
It's it's been 2 weeks. Settle down.
Yeah, and they go home and sleep in the same bed.
Because that's what they did in Heir of Fire, which is fine.
But I think this was which is fine, but I think that's because they don't know it yet, but I think that's got to be part of their. I can't spoil it. It's part of their thing.
Don't worry, we all know why. We all know why.
Yeah, Yeah, it's that string that's tugging.
Adian was also kind of starstruck because I think he is a big fan of Rhoalin as like a warrior and like his idol. So like yeah, so he was a little bit intimidated because it's like cousin versus potential lover, like who the territorial aspect of it. Territorial fey bastards, as Aelin/Celaena would say.
Yeah.
And also Adian gets pissy because he later finds out that Rhoalin has taken the blood oath when Adian had like a right to it first, or at least was gonna swear the oath first.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
I'm still like I still don't understand how all that works, but whatever.
Maybe in Terrasen you have one, but like maybe Maeve learnt of that concept and is like, well, I'm just gonna make multiple.
Yeah, because it only talks about Maeve having like the blood oath with people, and then Celaena/Aelin is like, oh, okay, well, I guess I have to do it. And then it's like, well, just because, Adian's like, oh, well, I'm her family, like, I need it.
Well, she only did it to save Rowan, really, to get him out of the other one. Oh, wait, no, they managed to bargain, and, like, he didn't really need to necessarily take the blood oath, but I think he just wanted to anyway. But yeah, of course, Adian's rightfully pissed, but yeah, look, ultimately, you can have multiple, as we see through Maeve, like, you can have multiple blood oaths. Like, it doesn't matter. But for Adian, it was special.
Yeah.
Because family and incest.
You want to fuck your cousin, we get it.
But yeah, and also through Rowan, upon this interaction, like, he knows straight away that Gavriel is Adian's father, another cadre member, for those following along at home and need a memory boost. I say later on in another episode that, like, the cadre, or Sarah J. Maas has written the cadre in a way for them to stay connected. Like, after Air of Fire, I was expecting to never interact with them again.
Yeah, but also remember there's that one that's just gone.
Oh yeah, Vaughn.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Never here. I don't understand what his significance was. I think there was a little bit of backstory about what he did, but, like, I don't really remember. Not that I care to remember about him. Too many characters to keep track of. She couldn't entwine him with anybody, so she's like, bye-bye. But yeah, and like, I did not like the cadre in Air of Fire. I don't know if I even mentioned it in Air of Fire. Like, they held Rowan back trying to help Aelin. Like, they're against her.
Yeah, and like, they were written, that they could have just been written out, and like, we just had Rowan, and then like, he could have like done like a throwaway line, like, oh, like, I wonder what my cadre is doing or whatever.
But yeah, I think, actually, no, that was when she was taking on some Valg in Mistward, but there was another moment, but they did actually help in another battle, but like, yeah, initially they wanted nothing to do with her either, as well, so fake fans.
Yeah.
Do a quick Witches recap?
Sure, not that I care about them, but...
Alrighty, so taking a pause with everything that's happening in Wendlin that led up to Arobyn's death, there is...
Rifthold.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, with Rifthold. The Witches, we remember them. We totally pay attention to what they have to do.
They're definitely read all their chapters.
They're doing their thing in Morath, and we are introduced to another character over there named Ilid Loken, and she is significant for those who remember. She is the daughter of Marion Loken, who sacrificed herself to save Aelin when she was a child.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't make that connection until the next book, but that's okay. I was like, what? Who's this chick?
I didn't make the connection until my second reread.
Shows how much, we pay attention. But yeah, Madden obviously finds her kind of snooping about because she has a bit of an injury to her foot, and Madden thinks she's just playing this kind of like, kind of dumbfounded, like, cripple spy type of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously Ilid's, just trying to escape. And they form a good little dynamic duo. Is it in this book? Yeah, in this book we also find out Ilid is like part witch as well in her bloodline.
Yeah, she bleeds blue.
Blue. And obviously it would wreak hell if her uncle Vernon found out. Which he does find out at the end of the book, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, so there's a bit of interactions between Manon and Ilid that we totally know what's going on. Just continued witch experiments and the breeding implementation program and all that gross stuff that the Valg wants the witches for, and like training and ultimate. That's okay. Again, it's our third time.
That's how much I love the witches.
We're a little bored of this.
I'm not bored of it. I actually feel like I've spoken, like, I have more opinions and, like, I've spoken more articulately. I'm just so fucking exhausted.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Just as a general recap to ourselves, Caltaine is there, and she has the word key, a word stone, word key, whatever, in her arm. She's just chilling in Marath. We were all expecting an Aelin v Manon interaction at some point. Like,
At some point.
it's read that their paths will align at some point. And obviously they have quite the parallel as well in terms of story, which is, now, yeah, looking back, that I enjoyed it. It's quite like a beautiful taking of it. So let's just go straight into like Manon v Aelin. Obviously the way this came about is Lysandra got kidnapped because I think Arabin revealed that she was a shifter in the will or something, and like word got back to Marath, and they're like, alright, let's take this chick because she's OP. And believe me, Lysandra is bloody OP.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then obviously Aelin, Kael, everybody, you know, goes to rescue her. They successfully rescue her. They also encounter Dorian again. Kael then has a moment of, I have to kill Dorian. So
yeah.
all that arguing was for naught.
Yeah.
But then obviously the witches chase after them, and Aelin and Manon fight over a wonky bridge over a ravine. And I think there's like a decrepit temple around them as well. And like obviously she wins because like there's 2 other books or 3 other books, like obviously, but like it was quite the scrap.
Yes, but however, yeah, there's a big scrap. But Manon gets injured or something. And then Aelin saves her life. Therefore, Manon owes Aelin a life debt.
Yes, we love life debts. It's like you can't help anyone one time without being indebted to them.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they adopted that like this day and age? It's like
you owe me a life debt. Yeah. And so then no, there's like an attack or whatever, and Manon sees Dorian or something.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm mixing up books. No, so so Manon and Dorian have an interaction. They meet or whatever, blah blah blah. Anyway, and Manon realizes that Dorian is still in his body, like he's not completely taken over. So she leaves a message for Aelin saying like the prince lives or something, or the prince is still inside Witch Killer or something. Yeah,
and then therefore life debt suddenly repaid.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick chat about like the Dorian Manon interaction, because it was like low-key cute. Actually, not even low-key. It was high-key cute as hell. And it's just so, you can imagine them saying it like, because she says hello princeling, he says hello witchling.
Hello
like,
witchling, yes.
Yeah, it was just so floaty, and like the Valg, I think you have a theory as to why the Valg kind of withheld a bit of the possession of Dorian, because he was able to have a little bit of control of himself.
Yeah.
But I just like to think that, like, you know, he appreciates, like, beautiful women presented in front of him. He just can't help himself.
Man knows what he wants.
He sure does. Anyway, I just like the fact that he was able to assume control for just a couple of seconds. Gives him a bit of relief. But then the king returned in their presence or something, and then he was able to lose control, unfortunately. Yeah. Maybe because the main source of the word collar is through the king and his ring. Maybe being far away, kind of like the bonds, like you're a bit more resistant to it.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, Manon and Dorian interaction are cute as heck, and yeah, they got to, forget how, but they get to see each other again, and like she manages, maybe it's after this interaction. No, because this was before the whole thing. I don't know. But they see each other again, and yeah, Manon, you know, sends the message that, yeah, the prince is still in there. And what we learnt from Air of Fire, or at least the boys learnt, how to bring magic back. Yes. And this has been another goal at the end, towards the end of the book. Oh, but first, back to the witches real quick. We learn of Astrin's backstory, which is Manon's second or third, depending what mood she's in. And
depending what mood she's in, yeah.
I think she was promoted back to second in this book at some point as well. But to be fair, the past 2 recordings, we've believed that Astrin has, revealed her backstory in this book, but then in another thing that we've another guide, it said that in Empire of Storms it's revealed, but like, we'll just say it now anyway. So Manon learns of Astrin's backstory.
Yes.
She fell in love with a human, some point in time, became pregnant with the child. Manon's grandmother, which is the matriarch of the Iron Teeth, or even just the whole witch clan, I guess, found out and
No, so Astrin had a stillborn, which happens.
Oh, that's right. Yep. I was wondering
witches,
what.
Apparently, yeah, and so Manon's grandmother, the matriarch, branded unclean onto her lower abdomen. The word unclean.
Manon is within two minds of herself because doesn't know how to feel towards her grandmother anymore, / the leader, because why should she treat her own people kind of like that? And so, yeah, Manon's within two minds about how she feels. Astrin gives... I cried a bit. It was pretty sad.
Yeah.
But everyone has to have a tragic backstory around here, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so... I guess through that admission and vulnerability, Astrin is back to being second in command for now. And yeah, now Manon doesn't really know how to proceed.
That I just don't care about.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, there's so many B stories that I can't.
Especially in Kingdom of Ash, we will get to that. The whole witch storyline in Kingdom of Ash is just, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I just want to talk about how they release magic and they free Dorian and...
Moving on to magic, trying to regain it. Kenzie, take it away.
Well, yeah, they figure out they have to destroy the clock towers.
Mm-hmm.
Or the clock tower and the towers. And Dorian and Aelin, fight and duel. And then Kale also appears to... Is it this one where he gets injured?
Yeah, so, yeah, they have a plan. It's a...
Oh, yeah, so Kale appears to sacrifice himself, the only noble thing he's ever done. So anyway, Dorian and Aelin fight and end up, it all happens, magic is back, they destroy the clock tower, blah blah blah.
Last 100 pages.
Last 100 pages. We find out that Dorian's father has been possessed by a Valg for, 20 years?
I think 10 years.
Yeah, a very long time. No, more, because he was a Valg when he conceived Dorian, because remember he had that one moment of clarity where he named him Dorian.
Oh, okay. Righto. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Could you... Ew, that just makes it seem a bit more gross now.
And then he talked about how, he did it all for him, he tried to hide... He, tried to hide Dorian away, because he knew that he would have magic and stuff, and it's all very much too little too late. Anyway, he dies.
Do we believe the king in what he said in his moment of clarity?
No.
I feel like I don't believe him. Nah.
I don't believe him. I think he's just one last-ditch effort, don't kill me.
The last hurrah, yeah. But also, simultaneously, while this is happening, Rowan and Adian are trying to blow up the clock tower, and obviously that's a bit of a shit show. Nothing can go right.
Yeah. Because turns out Loken didn't kill the word hounds.
They ended up getting trapped down there, having to fight these word hounds, and Rowan is still injured from the Manon interaction as well,
Yeah, and they still don't have magic at this point, just yet, while they're still fighting.
Living off his pesky human form and human abilities.
Yeah, then it's fine.
Yeah, and his combative skills are probably way better than any human anyway, but he's holding on for dear life. But I just want to quickly, I just really enjoyed the moment. It was a real endgame moment where it was Rowan and Adian backed against a corner, then Lysandra appears, just as magic, is back. Oh no.
Yeah, because she wouldn't have been able to because she wouldn't have been able to shift.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so yeah, explosion, yeah. Adian and Rowan back against the wall. Lysandra jumps in, saves them. Then there's a soldier going after Lysandra, then Nezrin fires an arrow or something. It was just a fun little ricochet moment of saving each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Dorian and Aelin.
Yeah, well, it's all fine. Dorian is no longer Valg possessed because she slips the ring on him that gets rid of Valg.
Yeah. But they combined their magic together, and I know I keep saying this on the other recordings, but it's just interesting. We keep saying it's because of his raw magic that he's synergizes and is compatible with her, but are they Karanim, being able to merge like that, take kind of...
I don't know if you can be Karanim with more than one person. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think he has like OP magic that they don't really utilize that well.
Yeah, hell no. Now that I look back on it, he is very
Yeah.
underused and undervalued.
Yeah.
Yeah, very dramatic ending with and the glass castle, or like parts of it shattering, and like the bridge, and then running away, and magic is back.
Aelin just being like, your city's under my control until Dorian, like,
Yeah, she assumes leadership until Dorian is ready. Because, yeah, he essentially just killed his father, and like his mother and brother are nowhere to be found, and I've realised that they've been nowhere to be found since.
This is true.
Yeah, we only hear about them in letters, like, we have no idea where they are.
Yeah.
Also, simultaneously, while this is all happening, Marath is like in complete and utter disarray because Celaena is the low-key MVP we never knew we needed.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah, through Elid's like snooping and everything or whatever, like she manages to, I wouldn't say befriend, but like make acquaintance with Celaena, and Celaena gives her the word stone to give to Celaena because of the kind gesture that Celaena gave her coat when she was in prison or something like that. And then it turns out Celaena had like the Shadowfire power, which no one really knew about.
So yeah, and I think I've said this on the previous recordings as well, and I stand by this, and I will stand by this is the hill that I die on. That like they built, like Celaena sacrificed her life and she blew up the tower and she had all this power. And, like, for nothing, like, she was written as a horrid character in the first book. You hardly hear about her in the second book. Like, yeah, she gets tortured a bit or whatever. It's like, but I don't care that she sacrificed herself. Like, this was just, I don't know, like, not worth it. Like, I would have cared more if it was, like, a different character or if they had not written her as such an unlikable bitch.
I mean, yeah, well, in the first book, she comes across as this, in today's terms, a pick-me, wants to marry the prince.
And like, yeah, like she's under the control of like, what's his face, Parrington and stuff, and like he's awful and then she's like being influenced by the vows. But yeah, like it's just, she didn't have, it's a redemption arc that doesn't strike home for me.
Do we hear of Shadowfire as a magic, form of magic
Never
ever
again.
since? So like, it just seems it's like a once-off moment to get rid of a character or to just have an epic moment.
Yeah.
But hey, she blew Marath to smithereens, and she takes good old Parrington and assumably Rhoalin with him, because like Rhoalin is never seen again. It just assumes that he dies, and Marath as well. You do feel sorry for her because it gives off that kind of trafficking kind of vibes, you know, like she's under the influence, taken away, and like the last moment of clarity she ever gets is using her powers on her own terms.
Yeah, it just doesn't strike home for me.
I would assume it sounds like it could be like a raw magic element, but like
it sounds like the surge of the witches. So maybe like I would have been interested to see if she had some, like she was maybe like half witch, like maybe like her mum was a witch and like her dad wasn't or whatever. So like she got that because it sounds like the surge.
But then yeah, we never hear of Shadowfire since.
But then yeah, and it's written as like a throwaway. Last hurrah.
Not gonna, but yeah, it was an epic moment, but yeah, it didn't quite land, I don't think.
Yeah, but like, yeah, and it's like one of the towers is destroyed already. Magic's back. Like, you don't need to destroy the other one. Like, thanks.
I think she just did it to demobilize the king and his troops and what they've already what they've accomplished in Marath. So I think it was more just the last hurrah. I'm gonna set you back. I'm dying on my terms. Fuck you, Parrington. Fuck you, the king. Yeah. And this whole situation. Good night. Back to Dorian real quick. Yeah, he kills his father essentially. Like, that's heartbreaking, and that, you know, it leaves an impact on people. Yeah, Aelin resumes or assumes leadership until further notice. Chaol is injured quite severely, and then he gets sent on a mission of recovery / gaining an army potentially. So I would like to state now, we are not reading Terror of Dawn. We have not planned.
This is a Chaos slander page as well.
Just for our own reasons, we will not be taking questions at this time. And yeah, moving on. Dorian has Rifthold as the Soul King now. Rowan and Aelin and Adian and co are off to Terrasen. Honestly, I was smiling big when they were like on the way back to Terrasen, because she's going home. Like, it's all she wants, all she wanted. Well, since Air of Fire, it's all she's wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot to do in the beginning, but we'll do it now. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, Kenzie.
Initially, because this is our fucking third chord, I'm done. No, I feel like this book was really good. It set us up great for the next. I feel like with Sarah J. Maas has a really great ability to like set up like trilogies within the like series. So it's like ACOTAR was like ACOTAR, ACOMAF, ACOWAR 3, and then like Frost and Starlight, Silver Flames, and the next one is going to be like 3. So it's like, this is good. Like, we've had the first 3, and now like this is setting us up for like the next like adventures that we're going on.
And it feels like it's more of an even playing field now because of Morath being decimated.
Magic.
Like it for the enemies, for our perceived enemies, and it's like a fresh start for them, and like they seem to have like a bit of an upper hand. So it paces quite nicely, I think.
Yeah.
And we have 2 books from here. But yeah, my thoughts, feelings, emotions. I enjoyed it. Again, it's really hard to remember being on the third record, feeling a little discouraged right now.
Yeah.
A little bit flat, to be fair, but no, yeah, I enjoyed it, reading it. I enjoyed meeting Arabin for the first time because I have not read Assassin's Blade yet, and I know he's a prominent figure in Celaena's life. Very interesting to see him, yes, be who he is, and then dying quite quickly, but that's alright. Aelin needs her army money. And yeah, it's good that the gang's back together. It's a shame Chaol is hurt. Glad we will not see him whinging or arguing with Aelin for the foreseeable future, so that's a good prospect. And just looking forward to seeing Rowan and Aelin's like relationship journey, because we love them together. Come on. Yep, I'm done with this book as well. I'm done recording.
Alright, so I guess thanks for listening, thanks for bearing with us, and we'll see you next time.
Keep an ear out for Empire of Storms.
Don't forget to check out our socials at letterbox_book_club.
And on Spotify, just letterboxbookclub. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.